You're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror. I'm Faye. Good evening and thank you for joining us. There is a match on in the city of Chennai. The Chennai Super Kings are playing the KKR team. It was meant to be a big match, but there's more action really happening outside of the stadium, where protesters have gathered all through the day, sort of culminated really in one or two scuffles that we did see happen, but largely peaceful protests. I'm joined now by Pramod Madhav, our Chennai correspondent, who's right outside of the stadium, currently where that IPL match is taking place. It's underway. Pramod, I hear a lot of noise behind you. We know that there's a lot of police bandobast.
This situation is
all right. Go ahead, Pramod.
Well, I'll tell you that there is thing is that there is definitely a lot of chaos in this area. If my camera person could pan to the left, that is gate number 8, and one or the other person wears a black t-shirt with the board calling for Cauvery, and that's all. The police go rampant and immediately he gets detained and they take him out of there. Remember, this is a very important road which connects Marina to Chepauk, and this road itself we are having this much trouble. Fans all across, you could see them inside also. They've been waiting since 5:30. They are over here to enter and to watch the match. For them, it's a very important match. After 2 long years, the giants called Chennai Super Kings who are coming back as underdogs, and this is their birthplace. Chepauk is their birthplace, and that's why everybody is thronging. You can just see them running up and down for that. In fact, I have a couple of fans with me. After 2 years, you're going to meet Dhoni.
சூப்பரா இருக்கு. இனிமே தான் சந்திக்க போறோம். ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. ரொம்ப வருஷம் கழிச்சு சென்னை விளையாடுது. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. அதை பார்க்க வந்திருக்கோம். பாப்போம் சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா மேட்ச் வின் பண்ணும்.
வின் பண்ணனும்னு வேண்டிக்கிறோம். சிஎஸ்கே가 வின் பண்ணனும்னு வேண்டிக்கிறோம்.
Well, apparently the eyes are glooming, and there you just like that behind me you could see another commotion is occurring. So it is like a kind of mixture. On one hand you could see the fans who are happy to meet the team and to watch the team, and there you have on the other side police are always on their heels because one or the other person wears a black shirt, and that becomes pretty chaotic, and they're trying to maintain law and order. They have 2,000 policemen spotted over here. More than 3,000 policemen came over, and it was a huge chaos, but that has been handled. But still sporadic protests are occurring here and there.
Well, Pramod, so here's the thing. For the protesters who are now coming to this stadium demanding that the IPL, initially they demanded the IPL be cancelled entirely or be moved to another city. What is their demand? So obviously it is not for the water that is being used to water the lawns inside of the stadium. What is their demand really?
Well, it's a very interesting way how this thing started. Almost a week ago, one person claims that instead of fighting for Cauvery this way in an all-violent manner, why don't we fight against IPL? That's what they started. Why don't we show our protest during IPL matches? That's how one person started it. Then TTV Dinakaran tweeted claiming that people should return the tickets or boycott IPL in the way to show their protest against it. And then what happened is that the culmination point was Rajinikanth, who went a little step further ahead, and he asked the Chennai Super Kings team to wear a black badge because he stated at this moment where the emotions are running really tall, it is not fair to run IPL. If they're going to do that, they have to show some kind of solidarity towards the farmers. However, as you saw the fans behind me, their eyes are gloomy. They have waited for 2 long years and they want to meet their fans. On the other hand, we saw directors Ram and Vetrimaran, who are national award winning directors. They claim that they chose this day to protest because they wanted the eye of the entire world to see Chennai. That's why they chose this day to show how much Cauvery is important to them.
Well, Pramod, also we've seen other members of the film fraternity other than Rajinikanth come forward and join the protest. You spoke to some of them today as they were sitting on the road outside of the stadium. Now, is this a means to get attention, to get national attention towards the protest for the Cauvery Water Management Board?
Precisely. Let me just tell you that we are actually swimming in a sea of yellow. We could just see only yellow t-shirts everywhere. And the thing is that Ram and Vetrimaran is the people I was talking about earlier. They are national award winning directors. One for Thangamin and the other one for Visaranai. Very much acclaimed, and they have made it very clear yesterday that they started an organization called as Tamilar Culture and Art Organization, and made also very clear. We had Satyaraj, Katappa fame Satyaraj, Bharat Raja and other people also. The thing is that it does not have any political color. That's what they wanted to make it clear there. And after that, they said that they have chosen this day because they claim Cauvery is much more important. We asked him the question, why is that they don't trust the center or the state? For which Vetrimaran said he does not believe in the center for 100%. and the state he doesn't even want to talk about, which unfortunately seems to be the emotion of them after how this Kaveri verdict, after even it's being given to in the favor of Tamil Nadu, was not implemented, and how Tamil Nadu government went further and dealt it with the Supreme Court.
But Pramod, just give us the status right now outside of the stadium. Have the protesters dispersed? Because we know that there were a lot of people there who were taken into preventive custody at this point. How many people have the police taken away? And has the crowd largely dispersed now? The crowd of protesters at least.
Well, they were almost like, I would say, like the head count could go up to 3,000 protesters, and there were like 3 tiers that they blocked it near the signal near to D1 police station, and then at Anna's statue itself they blocked it, and that's how the police tried to control the crowd. However, people who came with Bharati Raja and others, they stopped at the first tier itself and they protested. Then Bharati Raja and others entered the second tier, but they were not allowed inside the close to the stadium, and that's why you see sporadic incidences. Even after me being here until now, I could see at least 5 people wearing black shirts coming out, causing a commotion, and immediately detained by the cops.
Well, that would have been useful for the police, of course, to be able to tell the difference between protesters and fans based on the color of the shirt they're wearing. Fans are wearing yellow, protesters are wearing black. Pramod, I'm going to leave you for a second, but please come back to us, signal to us when you have people who want to talk to you, citizens who want to talk to you one way or the other about either the protest in Kaveri or about whether or not they want IPL to continue in the city of Chennai. And we'll keep coming back to you. Pramod staying live with us there from Chennai, right outside the stadium, where we've seen protests erupt all day. Now, I just want to remind our viewers of the timeline of this protest. Remember, the Supreme Court of India passed a judgment earlier this month asking for, earlier last month in fact, asking for the central government to set up a water management board or water management scheme. Now, and gave the central government 6 weeks to do so. The central government did not implement that rule. Towards the end of the expiry of its 6-week deadline, it went back to the Supreme Court and asked for a clarification on what the Supreme Court meant. As a result, the Supreme Court, of course, rapped the government on the knuckles, saying that why did you wait until the last minute to ask for clarity? Why didn't you implement the order that we had demanded? Now, the government has been given until the 3rd of May to respond and to write out a preliminary plan on how this order will be implemented. In the meantime, the state government of Tamil Nadu has approached the Supreme Court and filed a contempt petition. It boils down to this. Kaveri has been a problem between 2 states for a very long time. The court has finally intervened. The central government has not implemented the court's order. That is why the people on the streets are upset in Chennai, because they also feel that the central government is not paying attention to the state of Tamil Nadu. The question is why? Is Tamil Nadu being ignored? Joining me on the show today, Vaibhav Agarwal, spokesperson of the BJP, Surya Prakash, leader of the PMK. It is a party in opposition that's also protesting at this point. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Mr. Arima Sundaram is a senior advocate with the Supreme Court. Srinivasan is a senior journalist. Chengal Reddy, farm activist. C. Rajshekharan is a lawyer with the Madras High Court, and S. Mulidharan, AIADMK supporter. I welcome all of you to this conversation. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Mr. Vaibhav Agarwal, is the central government ignoring the state of Tamil Nadu because there are elections happening in Karnataka right now?
In fact, it's the other way around. Good evening to you, Faye. The centre government is absolutely all for it. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get a buy-in from the state of Karnataka. But since Congress is ruling Karnataka and they don't care how the farmers suffer there, they would absolutely put the blame on the centre government, saying it is our duty and we're missing it and blah, blah, blah. But this is all about politics. This is not even about water. You need to understand the farmers have been overlooked for far too long, especially of the Tamil Nadu area. Why? Because Kaveri issue is not a new issue. Kaveri issue is a decades-old issue. Now, I would understand that why is it that Karnataka wants to make it a political beat.
You know, Vaibhav Agarwal, good try. I appreciate the answer. But a order of the Supreme Court, the reason why it enters litigation and goes all the way to the Supreme Court and we get an order from the Supreme Court is because we no longer need a buy-in from any state. You no longer need a buy-in from any government, and you no longer need to be at the mercy of the Congress party as the ruling government in the centre. You have to just implement the Supreme Court order. So I don't understand what you mean by you need the buy-in of the Karnataka government and they're playing politics with you. In fact, Mr. Arimasundaram, I saw him laughing out loud at that answer. Mr. Sundaram, do you not agree about the buy-in of the Karnataka government?
Well, I think you're very right. He aptly chose his words. The buy-in of the Karnataka government. They are facing an election. Let's make no bones about it. The ruling party at the center has zero say in Tamil Nadu. They have no public support. They cannot win a single seat on their own. So Tamil Nadu for them is not an electoral gold mine for them to get any seats. Whereas Karnataka is a very serious election coming up. The Karnataka, they have a very good chance of winning the election. Now, if the central government does any step in aid of setting up the management scheme and the management board, if anything is done by them, it will be interpreted in the elections, which is in Karnataka, as the central government is working against the interest of Karnataka and is working for the interest of Tamil Nadu. Immediately, therefore, they feel they're going to lose votes in Karnataka. I don't think you need rocket science to come to this conclusion. The very aim, I mean, the cat came, it was completely spilled the other day when the Attorney General, in fact, told the court, the elections are on 9th, so give us time till after 9th. What was meant by that? I really don't see what this whole issue is about, because what the central government quite clearly is doing is waiting until the Karnataka elections are over so that nobody can point a finger and say that you're supporting Karnataka. And that's why I said the choice of buy-in was very correctly put. Maybe it was a Freudian slip, but it was very correctly put that they want to buy in the Karnataka sentiment, because that's exactly what's being done.
Vaibhav Agarwal, do you want to respond to that before I bring in the rest of my panel? Why do you need a buy-in on a Supreme Court order, Vaibhav Agarwal?
You know, my learned counsel, he absolutely apt and put in that there is a lot of politics around it, and nobody denies it. And that's why the learned counsel is loved by quite a many. So the idea here is that it is not only about the buy-in. The idea is about the constitution of the very board. The idea is that the center government and the Attorney General had a confusion with respect to the earlier order of the constitution of the board, and there were conditions in the board which perhaps the team was not clear about, and that is exactly why we absolutely requested Supreme Court for some more time, that the government was a little confused about it. Now, having that said, we also have to see that Karnataka government any which ways formally moved an application to the Supreme Court for the review of that order, saying no, there is no need for releasing of the even 3,000 cusecs of water that the Supreme Court had awarded Tamil Nadu in the interim, or the Karnataka government aptly moved an application stating that we don't want such an order about the Cauvery Management Board, and that's on record.
Okay, so if I understand this correctly, Vaibhav Agarwal, you agree with the Congress-led Karnataka government at this point that it actually raised a question before the Supreme Court, and it took the government...
No, we disagree completely.
Okay, you disagree completely, all right. It also took the central government no less than 6 weeks to realize that you didn't understand the first order. So you went back to the Supreme Court and asked for a clarification after 6 weeks' time, effectively wasting the entire period of time that was given to you as a deadline by the Supreme Court to set up the Water Management Board. Post that, the Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu have sat on a protest. We've had movie stars come out and talk. We've had other politicians come out and talk. We have various protests across the state over the last 2 months. Nothing, no reaction from the central government at all, not even a statement. Are we surprised then that it has come to this? Why is Tamil Nadu being ignored by the central government? The central government, not a single statement, Vaibhav Agarwal. Not one.
Absolutely not ignored. Yes, because it is very simple that the matter is sub judice, and we do not want to talk about it.
No, the matter is not sub judice. The matter is sub judice because you keep placing appeal of... See, Rajshekhar.
And Tamil Nadu...
No, no.
And Tamil Nadu farmers get benefit from it. You know, I would
matter is not
absolutely
subsidies.
yearn to the Karnataka government to actually please help the farmers. Let the elections be political and let farmers' welfare not be political about it. There is no need to do politics around farmer welfare. And if there is, and seeds and crops are to be watered now. Can the Karnataka government release any interim water for the Tamil Nadu farmers? I think that's a
Yes, they will.
That's a call that the Karnataka government and their vested interests
I'm going to
louder.
stop you there. I'm going to stop you there. The Karnataka government will release water. They have to release water once the central government forms the Cauvery Water Management Board that gives the order to release the water. You're refusing to form the board. See, Rajshekhar, do you want to respond to that?
See, Faye, now let us understand the issue. See, I am not against IPL or cricket. Today, Tamil Nadu is burning. The emotions are running high. For what? The Honorable Apex Court had passed an order which was a welcome order by both Karnataka farmers and the Tamil Nadu farmers. Though we didn't get what we wanted. But today we are in a situation where BJP spokesperson is trying to speak about the technical aspect of a petition being filed again for clarification and saying that it is. I mean, it's really funny and ridiculous. And let us understand, BJP government at the center is playing to the galleries of Karnataka voters, and they are giving a stepmother treatment to the Tamil Nadu state and its people because they have nothing in Tamil Nadu, as rightly pointed out by our learned counsel.
No, not at all.
So today, BJP has no stakes politically in the state of Tamil Nadu, and this is for a quite long time, for several decades. So they want to play politics, pure politics, which was a strong observation was made by the Honorable Chief Justice yesterday in an observation to the central government Attorney General. And all this put in a nutshell, we are suffering. The Tamil Nadu farmers are committing suicide. The Tamil Nadu state is facing a huge water scarcity. So all this, nobody is there to speak for Tamil Nadu. And the Tamil Nadu government is helpless and they are only towing the lines of the central government, which is the BJP government. So there is nobody. The opposition is silent. The DMK majority is silent.
Mr. A. Saravanan of the DMK. Let's one second. Let me bring in.
The parties which are protesting, they are only reflecting the pulse of the majority people of the state.
Let me bring in Mr. Saravanan of the DMK. Mr. Saravanan, is the opposition silent? Are you unable to take on the central government? Is that the truth?
I don't know from which world Rajshekhar has coming from right now, because the entire political spectrum is taken in by the protests made by the DMK. The month which was conducted on April 5th made the entire country turn their attention towards the state of Tamil Nadu, because it transcended political protest and has become a political people's movement. That is because we were able to continuously build the public opinion against the injustice met out to the people of Tamil Nadu. This is one aspect. The other thing is this: we are even disappointed by the judgment of the Supreme Court. Where is the finality of litigation? The Supreme Court on February said, within 6 weeks, please form the Cauvery Management Board. What the Supreme Court says is the law of the country. They said no extensions will be granted. But what has happened after March 29th? Extension has been granted only because the central government wanted those extensions. You think on May 3rd something is going to happen? Knowing well fully how the Supreme Court functions, only the draft schemes have to be filed there. We don't know how long it is going to take. The central government, the BJP, has always treated Tamilians as second-class citizens because we are the bulwark against their imperialistic policies. That is the reason why they totally disregard our interests in every possible manner. Let it be allocation of funds, let it be drought relief, let it be relief to the fishermen who are stranded. Oki cyclone, thousands of fishermen were stranded, but the Navy and the Army were not pressed at the right time, leaving so many fishermen lose lives.
No, stay on point. Stay on point.
The BJP is treating the people of Tamil Nadu and non-setup of Cauvery Management Board and how they have dealt with this issue for the last 2 years.
Well, Mr. Muralidharan of the AIDMK
argues in favor of the Karnataka government.
Mr. Muralidharan, who supports the AIDMK, why has the state government of Tamil Nadu been so helpless in the face of this treatment from the central government that you allege?
Why do you say so, Faye?
Where is
there was a contempt
because there was
petition
no,
filed
no,
by us.
how often have you seen the state chief minister and the deputy state chief minister sit in a hunger fast or a hunger strike against the central government? When was the last time that happened?
Yes.
How is that showing a show of power?
It was done, a few days ago, even before the DMK's protest. There was a hunger strike which was carried out, and there was protest in Delhi, and there was a contempt petition which was filed in the Supreme Court. Everything is being done. It's a desperation of few parties in Tamil Nadu who are not able to come to power for the past 1 year. Is making them do all these. Now, this is not just the cauvery issue. Look at the IPL issue. I mean, this was a golden opportunity for everybody to make the whole world look at you. All they had to do, wear black shirts or black ribbon and walk into the stadium. That was the golden opportunity. What did they do? The same old hooliganism, the same old politics of vandalism. What have they achieved by that? The IPL is going to go on. The show is on. But you lost out the golden opportunity. So you need maturity in way of protesting. And that is not there. And when DMK protested the other day, what did they achieve? They stopped traffic, they stopped the trains, and whom did they inconvenience? The Tamil Nadu people. And what did they achieve by that? Nothing. So your protest has to be, your target is Mr. Modi, and you should be protesting for that. What are you doing here?
No, so tell me something,
This
Mr.
is the
Muralidharan.
point.
Mr. Muralidharan, tell me something. Does the AIADMK believe that the central government has been fair to the state of Tamil Nadu? And do you believe that Tamil Nadu is being... Do you
It is not.
Okay. Why not?
No, he will say that.
It is not fair.
He will say that.
They are not being
but
fair.
not the ADMK ministers or the ADMK leaders.
No,
If they say so,
everybody
they'll be taken to task by the BJP.
No, everybody says the same language.
Will flow like a river against them.
Not exactly.
It is convenient for Mr. Modi to
One
come
at a
and
time,
say here
please.
that Mr. Modi or the central government is dishing the state of Tamil Nadu. But let one single ADMK minister or any of the chief minister say so. They are scared to utter the word BJP.
That's wrong, Faye. That's absolutely wrong. Now, who's ruling party in Karnataka? This is the Congress. And who's in alliance with the Congress? Is the DMK. The Supreme Court made a remark yesterday. The CMB has to be constituted. And the Cauvery Management Board has to be constituted. But it does not mean the allocated per month quota of water should not be released.
Right.
The water releasing and the CMB had no relevance.
Right.
It has to go on.
Right.
Absolutely.
Well,
So
you know,
we are
but you know what
supposed
is
to go and insist
unfortunate?
upon
This
the
is
Congress
just...
to get the water.
Absolutely.
No, hang on, gentlemen, hang on. Let me bring in Mr. Srinivasan, and I understand what. All right, I know you. Unfortunately, we've sat the AIADMK and the DMK next to each other, and you're going to be tempted to fight among yourselves. But please, involve the rest of the panel as well. Mr. S. Srinivasan, senior journalist who has been tracking the state of Tamil Nadu for a very long time. The politics between the BJP, the Congress, the DMK, and the AIADMK has costed Tamil Nadu an unfortunate amount, Mr. Srinivasan.
Yeah, that's true. You see, the first thing is Supreme Court delivered a judgment and it wanted the center to implement it. It didn't ask the center to go for arbitration or any such thing. It just wanted its decision to be implemented. And I think there is enough wisdom at the center to understand the judgment and implement it. To say that we didn't understand, it took us some time and then we want clarification. Obviously, as Mr. Sundaram said, all this is politics because of Karnataka elections. It's crystal clear. Everybody knows about it. Obviously, everybody knows that this is what is being done. And everybody is playing politics. You see, this thing has been hanging around for over a century. Finally, it appeared after this judgment that, even if Bangalore got some water, 14.5 TMC, that there is a certain finality and it would be implemented. That's what people were expecting. But once again, by this postponement, because of the elections, obviously people are very unhappy. On the other hand, there is a certain political vacuum which exists in Tamil Nadu. All this has now further combined to, it's very convenient for fringe parties to make it an issue and hit the streets because IPL is a low-hanging fruit. So obviously they are going to encash it. Unfortunately, even somebody like Rajnikant and Kamal Hassan, who have been in the past at the receiving end of films being banned or some such agitations, they too also have joined and said that, water is very important for us and therefore we should play politics on this. So obviously, one thing I would like to say, BJP obviously want to put nation first. Here, they seem to have put election first.
Well, they seem to have put the elections first.
I beg to disagree with Mr. Srinivasan. This is absolutely the nation first, and we know. And we know that Karnataka government has absolutely moved an application against the formation of the very Cauvery Management Board. And my learned counsel there, I did make a statement in the beginning and to Faye that it is all about politics. Faye. It is not about farmers. The idea is, the problem is that nobody wants to talk about farmer welfare. Nobody wants to, like my AIADMK colleague said, that ask you, yes, they're pulling us up, pulling the BJP up, but that does not matter. The Karnataka government will still need to release whatever water that is needed by Tamil Nadu.
Let me correct you.
There is a separate order to that.
Let me remind you that the Supreme Court did not pull up the BJP. The Supreme Court pulled up the central government, and we must learn to form a distinction between our central government and a political party. There must be a difference. But I know that Mr. Sundaram wanted to respond to what you just said. Mr. Sundaram, please go ahead.
Look, this thing about Karnataka government filed a review, etc. I just don't understand what is being said. Anyone can file a review, but the law is very clear, and I'm sure that the central government is aware of the law. And I'm sure that their spokesman is also aware of the law, that mere filing of a review doesn't mean that the order doesn't have to be implemented. Now, I just fail to understand what was not clear in the judgment. As the Supreme Court itself said, I'm sorry, our judgment is perfectly clear. What is it you don't understand? Now, look at the further play in this. The government claims that they wanted clarification. They moved the court, and then the court now has given them extra time to implement it. What is the clarification that the court gave? How is a government suddenly become wiser after that hearing than they were before the hearing? And if they were not wise enough before that, then I'm very worried about what kind of wisdom this government has. The fact of the matter is, pure and simple, there's a Karnataka election. Pure and simple, the Attorney General said, please give us time till after the Karnataka election. That was said in court. And the court said, no, we want it by 3rd May. Now, this is the quandary which the government has found itself in, because unfortunately, our concept of federalism takes into account that the elections in states is equally important. If that is so, there is no dichotomy between the ruling party following its own interests or the ruling party as a ruling party looking at the national interest. Their personal interests are coming first. And that is the most unfortunate thing in it, because in riparian rights, while two states may fight, the central government always has a role. That is our federal structure. Now that central government has a role, unfortunately when the central government is wearing two hats and on the one side sees itself as the BJP party, and now they say my interest as a BJP party is contrary to what I should be doing as a central government, it's very unfortunate that the hat of the BJP party seems to be much more firmly put on.
Chengal Reddy, what is
your...
No,
that's not right. I beg to disagree. May I?
No, one second. Let me bring in Chengal Reddy. He hasn't made his opening statement yet. Mr. Reddy, what is your response to the protest we saw against the IPL today? And what's your response to what Vaibhav Agarwal is making as an argument on the show this evening?
See, every politician is trying to be a political grandmaster. It's very, very obvious whether it is Tamil Nadu or Mr. Modi or other states. Look at Tamil Nadu. First, I will take up Tamil Nadu political leaders. Last 2 years, Mr. Ayyakannu was doing strike in Delhi. None of the political parties went and supported him, nor there is a call for Bandh of Tamil Nadu by any of these political parties. And then in 2011, Government of India gave, Supreme Court gave judgment for implementation of linking of rivers. In all these 6-7 years, none of the political parties, either ruling party or opposition parties, they didn't implement the linking of river. Now, what I'm trying to say is definitely there is politics here. Absolutely, it's a ridiculous thing to say that IPL, by simply protesting, having a black badges, that it will catch attention. I mean, it looks very, very odd and not very practical. Here it is 100% politics, there is no doubt. But one thing I must tell you, Mr. Modi is in regard to farmers' issues, Mr. Modi was always trying to utilize every opportunity of farmers' issues as a political leverage. When you see, these 2014 promises for MSP, it was never implemented Till recently, when Mr. Anna Hazare went strike, he said as if he is going to do, then he came out and all that. Here again, simple fact is, what is the problem for Mr. Modi to implement, to come out with a resolution or some sort of workable solution? Because simply he is not interested. See, it's BJP basically has lost interest in farmers. Perhaps our own organizations, now we are working across the country. We call him Beiman. You know, Beiman means in Hindi, it's a very, not that it's a bad word. Mr. Modi has given us in writing as well as in orally that he will pay MSP. But he has broken both of them. So we farmers, whenever in the villages we sit and tease, are ye Beiman Modi, Narendra Modi nahi hai, ye Beiman Modi. Matlab, he is a man who has broken his promise to farmers. Now that's the problem. Now here again you take this particular issue. 1 second, I'm just giving you, see, this is a Supreme Court order. Now he is deliberately doing it, there is no true opinion. And these Tamil Nadu politicians, I mean, they are also like anybody else. I mean, do they need IPL support? I am wondering why Mr. Kamal Hassan or Rajinikanth want IPL to have black badges. I mean, what a nonsense. It's a game, allow it to go on, and you politicians, now these two people have joined politics, you play politics.
Right.
Correct.
All right, in fact, Mr. Reddy.
Both by Delhi as well as regional parties.
Yes, let me go back to the stadium where our correspondent Pramod is standing by with people who are still at the stadium opposing or protesting against the IPL. Pramod, who do you have with you and why are they opposing the IPL?
Well, it's very simple for them. They claim that Kaveri is more important than cricket, and that's the reason we saw like sporadic incidents, like kind of very, like it's very active at this location. I'm in front of gate number 8, and every 10 minutes, one or the other person gets detained over here. Suddenly somebody raises a slogan, the cops immediately detain them. If someone wears a black shirt, they become the first target for the cops. Immediately they ask who is like, what is he doing there? And if he does not produce a proper answer, he's immediately detained. I have one of the people who oppose the match right now because they think that this is not the time. Why is that you oppose IPL?
தமிழ்லே பேசலாம்ல வணக்கம்ங்க என் பேர் தமிழ் இப்போ நம்ம எங்கே இருக்கோம்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா சென்னை சேப்பாக் ஸ்டேடியத்தோட என்ட்ரன்ஸில் இருக்கோம் நாங்கள் வந்து இங்கே இந்த மேட்ச் நடக்கக்கூடாது அப்படின்ற எண்ணத்தில் இங்கே வந்திருக்கோம் ஏன்னா இங்கே காவிரி முக்கியமாக கிரிக்கெட் ஐபிஎல் முக்கியமாக ஐபிஎல் நடந்துட்டு போட்டோம் அது எங்களுக்கு பிரச்சனை கிடையாது ஆனால் இங்கே இவ்வளோ இஷ்யூ இருக்குது இங்கே வந்து ஒரு இழவு விழுந்தா மாதிரி எங்கள் நாட்டுக்கு இப்போ தமிழ்நாட்டில் ஒரு இழவு விழுந்தா மாதிரி ஒரு விஷயம் இருக்கும்போது இங்கே வந்து ஒரு கச்சேரி வச்சு டான்ஸ் ஆடிட்டு பாட்டு பாடிட்டு இருந்தால் அந்த இழவு வீட்டுக்கு எவ்வளோ சோகமாக இருக்குமோ அதே சோகம் தான் எங்களுக்கு இருக்குது.
According to him, he claims that this situation is like it's a kind of like a funeral, and it's very unfortunate that like someone is trying to celebrate. On the other hand, when Tamil Nadu is not getting Kaveri, for them it sounds like a funeral. It's pretty hard for him to claim it this way. But அதுக்காக IPL ban பண்ணிட்டா வந்து காவிரி வந்துருமாட்டா ஒரு क्वेश्चन கேக்குறாங்க.
இல்ல இது வந்து IPL ban பண்றதுனால காவிரி வந்துருமான்றது क्वेश्चन கிடையாது. இங்க அடிச்சா எங்க வலிக்கும்னு ஒரு ஐடியா இருக்கு. எங்க இப்போ ப்ரொடெஸ்ட் பண்ற எல்லாருமே வந்து ஏதோ நாலேஜ் இல்லாத ஆட்களோ அந்த மாதிரிலாம் கிடையாது. எங்க விஷயம் வந்து வெளியே போகணும். இங்க வந்து நடக்கிற பெரிய அரசியல் வந்து இந்த கார்பரேட் சுத்தி இருக்க அரசியல் தான். இனி உங்களுக்கு பார்த்துருப்பீங்க பெரிய லெவலில் எங்க க்ரௌட் இருந்தது, ப்ரொடெஸ்ட் பண்ணாங்க. எல்லாருமே இப்போ கலைக்கப்பட்டாங்க. அது எப்போ பண்ணாங்கன்னா மேட்ச் ஆரம்பிக்கிறதுக்கு 8 மணிக்குள்ளே இந்த எல்லாரையுமே கலைச்சிருக்காங்க. அப்போனா இங்க மணி எந்த அளவுக்கு வேலை செய்யுதுன்னு பாருங்க, கார்ப்பரேட் எந்த அளவுக்கு இங்க வேலை செய்றாங்கன்னு பாருங்க. இது வந்து
he actually blames the corporatization, states that it was also pre-planned because 3,000 people were close to there who are protesting near the stadium, and right now nobody's over there. And he says like just before the match everybody were detained and sent. I have one more person. What do you think? Should IPL be banned for the cause of Kaveri?
See, actually, everyone likes a match. Okay. So in the situation la வந்து நம்ம வந்து இத வந்து நம்ம புறக்கணிச்சிருக்கலாம். இவங்க வந்து கொஞ்சம் வந்து இந்த விஸ்வநாதன் வந்து இத வந்து வேற இடத்துக்கு வந்து அவங்க ஷிஃப்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். இந்த மேட்ச் நடக்கிறது ஒரு இடத்துல வந்து சீரியஸான இஷ்யூ போயிட்டு இருக்கும்போது விளையாட்டுத்தனம் எதுக்குன்னு தான் நாங்கள் கேட்குறோம். இத்தனை பேரும் ஒரு உணர்வுடன் வராங்க. ஓகே வரட்டும். இவ்வளோ பேரும் உணர்வோடு வந்தோம்னா அவங்களுடைய டார்கெட்டை தான் பார்க்குறாங்களே தவிர போலீஸ்காரங்க எல்லாரையும் அரெஸ்ட் பண்ணி கூட்டிகிட்டு தான் போகிறோம். அப்போ எதுக்கு நிற்கிறவங்க யார், வரவங்க யார், வேஸ்ட் ஆஃப் எனர்ஜியை பண்ணி யாருமே வரல. எல்லாரும் அவங்களோட உரிமைக்காக நாங்கள் இங்கே வந்துட்டு இருக்கோம்.
Let me just translate for him. He claims that this is exactly not the time for IPL, and he states that he's not against IPL, but the timing is very odd. He claims like on one side there are people who are protesting every day. They are standing on the sun, they are protesting, asking for IPL. for the farmers' cause, but on the other hand, you see that people are made to celebrate in the form of cricket, and that's the reason these two over here are opposing IPL.
All right, Prabodh, many thanks for joining us. We keep coming back to you, Prabodh. Thank you for that interaction. Prabodh, that bringing us up some people who said, and this was an interesting argument, that it's not like if IPL gets cancelled, we'll get the Cauvery water, but we don't think it's fair to be celebrating in this manner at a time when our farmers are dying and our state should be in mourning. These were the arguments that were given to us by protesters on the ground. We also have Surya Prakash, leader of the PMK, which one of the parties in opposition. Mr. Surya Prakash, do you also agree that we shouldn't be celebrating at a time when the state should be in mourning?
Absolutely. The way the protest has been boycotted today, the IPL has been boycotted today, is a good example of how Tamil Nadu and its youngsters have been conducting themselves to all the various boycotts that they have conducted, and even the protests in general. There has been no violence at all. It has been very peaceful, democratic, but we have been very outspoken about our views, how IPL celebrations have actually prick the sentiments of the entire state, and especially the CSK, Chennai Super Kings teams, which claim to reflect the culture and language and lifestyle of Chennai and Tamil Nadu. They should be reflecting our sentiments as well. They should have empathy towards the sufferings of the farmers. When farmers are dying in this country, in this state, especially at this critical juncture when there is season for the crops to have water, and we need to start the farming at this time. There is no water now. The Supreme Court has given the order very clearly, but the central BJP government has been dragging the case very deliberately just to make sure they make good numbers in Karnataka. They are dragging this thing even after Karnataka election. I don't think BJP would make sure that justice prevails. BJP would still try to sideline with Karnataka because it has more power in terms of MLAs and MPs in Karnataka. They get nothing out of Tamil Nadu. The central government will continue to betray Tamil Nadu, which is why this protest, not only for IPL, for anything in terms of a celebration. For example, during the Elam issues, we had people raising against even the FICCI, the film fair functions. So it's not a problem if people boycott this. They don't really go snatch any ticket from anybody. They don't pelt stones at the people who come to watch the matches. They just shout slogans. They just explain to the people who come to watch the match, don't do this. We are trying to educate them, spread awareness, and pass our propaganda across, which I think is very democratic. And I think we should really appreciate the way people have conducted themselves during the boycott. We got arrested. There are thousands of people who got arrested, but there has not been any sort of violence considering the number of young people around there, the students around there, people at their age. They tend to get agitated and it can drift towards violence, but it has never happened so far in Tamil Nadu history. And also in this particular instance, I think this has to be especially lauded by people from all circles who are against this or opposing this or even supporting this.
All right, I'm opening this up for anyone who wants to respond. And my first question I'm going to ask again, is the state of Tamil Nadu being ignored at this point? Given what we saw happen with Jallikattu not long ago, the kind of bubbling angst that there is under the surface in this state, do you think that the central government's sort of ignoring the situation for this long is going to cause more problems? Mr. Sundaram first, and then to our guests in Chennai. Mr. Sundaram.
Yeah, Faye, I just want to highlight two things. Look, the right of protest, of peacefully protesting, is a fundamental right. It is a democratic right. It's a right which can never be taken away, and to that extent, I accept that protest in any form cannot be quelled. So to that extent, I cannot object against a protest. But what I do find is objectionable is the politics which is being brought into the protest. If people want to protest, well and good. I was most amused to see all these film actors sitting and saying, they should not have an IPL. There cannot be such entertainment at a time like this when we're going through Cauvery. I wonder why they didn't say that no movie should be shown, that nobody should go to theaters, nobody should see films. I mean, I find it ridiculous. Here are these people who have films every day where the same kind of kacheris and all that were being talked about, the dances and the songs are being shown in the film. There's no objection to people going to the film by these people, same people who are sitting and protesting against IPL. It's sheer hypocrisy. All these film actors who have got into it are purely hypocritical, trying to get their face in the media, trying to get recognized, nothing else. As far as the second question is concerned, as to the form of protest which should take place. Here is a cricket match going on. How is that going to augment or reduce the amount of water which is going to be released? It's two totally different things. To say that a few people who are protesting can physically prevent others who want to go to this cricket match from going in, I think is anti-democratic. If it's going to be a peaceful protest, sure, protest. Protest against IPL, protest against the anything, protest against films being shown, protest against any form of entertainment, walk around with black armbands, no problem. But don't single out a cricket match just because all of you are actors who want people to go to theatres instead of going to cricket matches. I think there's great hypocrisy here, which I find is ridiculous, absurd, because of the kind of people who are backing it. The kind of people who are giving entertainment every day and who are not stopping anyone from being entertained there. But so far as IPL are concerned, they say, my God, this is not a time for entertainment. This is a time we should shed tears. How can we do this? During a funeral, you're having all this entertainment. Well, during a funeral, please don't have the theatres also, don't have movies.
So Arima Sundaram believes that this protest is hypocritical.
That ridiculous.
Yes. Ashwin on the phone line from Chennai. Ashwin, go ahead.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi to the panel.
Yes.
Sir, I value a point just now who spoke. I don't know his name.
Mr. Arima Sundaram, yes, go ahead.
When did you recognize this thing, sir? When we protested against this IPL only, you got to the attention. Still, for the past 1 month, when the Supreme Court verdict and the amendment was not fulfilled by the central government, we are protesting from that time. Did you get that attention from that time? No, right? Your national medias are concentrating only this time, right? So
yes, I did. Yes, I did. To answer your question, yes.
Well, just to answer your question, Ashwin, on this channel at least, we have been tracking the Cauvery issue for over a year now, and we've tracked every movement, every hearing in the Supreme Court, every observation made on the Supreme Court. We've been tracking the farmer issues for a year now. So I understand what you're saying, but I think as far as the question placed to Mr. Sundaram, we've been aware of the problem, and we've debated it several times. Arjun Sridhar on the phone line from Madurai. Mr. Sridhar, go ahead.
Yes. So the reason we are protesting against the IPL is not about we hate IPL or cricket. The situation at present in Tamil Nadu is at serious condition, and we want the media or the people from the central government to take care of this issue and move ahead with a solution. So we just want them to look at the point of view that they should give more importance to
right,
the state.
Arjun, do you believe that either the central government or your state government is ignoring the problem right now?
Well, I believe the state government with the central government, because there is an election going to happen in Karnataka on May 5th. So both the Congress or BJP doesn't want to give a voice towards the Tamil Nadu. If they do it, it will go against their
no, but this has nothing to do with elections. It's just politics.
Vaibhav
Agarwal, I'll put this simply, the lawyer representing the central government went to court and said, can you please give us time until after the Karnataka elections are over? So if you're going to tell me that this has nothing to do with elections in Karnataka,
I'll tell you why.
I'm afraid you're not standing on very solid ground.
You know? No, absolutely not. If you give me an opportunity, I'll tell you why this was said. Now, you have to understand that the Supreme Court, and my learned counsel there will smile again when I say next. But I'll tell you, the Supreme Court has asked us to form this Cauvery Management Board under Section 6A of the Water Disputes Act. Now, the Water Disputes Act, Section 6A clearly defines that this has to be a multi-stakeholder model. And the number of states that you have to consider in this are Puducherry, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. You know, and if we were to not unanimously get and if we were not to form this panel unanimously, then this panel will not have its right roots.
No.
And it will have
if you could get these states,
the council also said this.
No. Vaibhav Agarwal, forgive me, I'm going to interrupt you. If you could get the states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, 1 second. No, Vaibhav Agarwal, I'm not going to allow you. No, 1 second. Vaibhav Agarwal. No, Vaibhav Agarwal. If you could get the states of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Kerala to unanimously agree on the water of Cauvery, we would not be having this conversation. There is a reason why it went to the Supreme Court. Also to correct you, you said the Supreme Court.
No. The central government has no role to play in it.
Then step out.
Formation of the
board. Get out of the way.
Absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
And next, my next point to you, Vaibhav Agarwal.
We are only acting as a class teacher.
Are you quite done? And the Supreme Court did not ask you to form a water management board, it ordered you to form a water management board and you refused to do so, and that should raise different questions about why is it that the central government believes it's above the orders of the Supreme Court. But Mr. Saravanan
Supreme Court did not order it, Supreme Court issued a decree. The decree's definition is different than the order.
Mr. Saravanan, go ahead.
You need to go in the details.
Fine, there is no ambiguity at all in the judgment of the Supreme Court. It is crystal clear. It says implement the tribunal award. That is what we mean by a scheme. And that's what I said in the beginning of the program. It is disappointing that the Supreme Court has accepted indirectly an extension plea by the central government. There is no ambiguity. This has been cleared by
so according to the tribunal, that means Tamil Nadu will have less share of water. That's the problem. This is political.
The other thing is this. No, nothing. There is nothing political about it. You have been asked to implement, frame a scheme. What a scheme means? Scheme means to implement
the tribunal awarded less than half the share of the water to Tamil Nadu and gave Karnataka the lion's share, Saravanan. So why don't you tell this to the viewers here?
And it took, with the might of all the central government, the legal brain it has, it took 6 weeks for them to find out that there is some ambiguity in the judgment. Do you want us to believe this? You think people of Tamil Nadu are so fools to believe this? Why can't you say?
Why not? Because it's a multi-stakeholder engagement. The more you interact with multi-stakeholders and the more you understand that the composition of the board is rather complicated.
People of Tamil Nadu would have accepted you. We have a fight there. Congress and BJP are equal partners. So give us time.
Yes.
If you said that, people would have accepted. People would have believed in you. Not by this surreptitious
You are partners to Congress.
One second.
Guaranteed by the Supreme Court.
We're going to keep going round and round in circles. But let me bring in Mr. 1 second.
The Supreme Court said, please frame the tribunal, form the cauvery management board in 3-4 days. The Attorney General said, yes, we will do it in 2 days and report to you. Third day, the Attorney General comes and says, no, we won't do it. They are scared of the Karnataka elections. That is why we are unable to believe any assurances or
Don't talk like a Tamil filmmaker where you have a script written and who said.
Vaibhav Agarwal, that actually, I mean, I don't even know how to react to what you just said, because he just called out what happened in court, and that is not the script of a Tamil film. Mr. Rajshekharan, go ahead. Mr. Rajshekharan.
I just want to know whether Vaibhav is an advocate.
Hey, that's not in the public domain.
No. Is Vaibhav a lawyer?
So hang Vaibhav Agarwal, everything that happens in the Supreme Court is in the public domain.
No. If you are a lawyer, please read the verdict of the Honorable Supreme Court. You will understand. I'm sorry to say this, because the verdict was crystal clear and the farmers in Karnataka had celebrated this verdict. So what more the central government wants? Why didn't you implement it? That is my point. Please don't try to beat around the bush and create something which is
but
not
it's a
in existence.
multi-stakeholder engagement. If the multi-stakeholder engagement does not give us a clear eye, how do we form that up? And there is a confusion in that multi-stakeholder engagement, and Karnataka contributes to it. If the Congress government doesn't want farmer welfare, what should we do about it? Should we ask the governor to dismiss the Congress government? Well, we will get dismissed when the elections come.
Congress and BJP, when you are concerned about the farmers of both the states, you should have immediately obeyed the order of the Honorable Supreme Court.
We are absolutely concerned about the farmers. And my opening speech said that I don't want this to be political.
Well, unfortunately, I've run out of time on this conversation. I've run out of time on this conversation, gentlemen. But it boils down. Yes, it boils down to this. The central government has completely and totally ignored the protests from Tamil Nadu over the last 2 months. Statements from Kamal Haasan and Rajnikant, both actors turned politicians, we must remember. Various sporadic protests across the state of Tamil Nadu, including from the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister, trying to get the attention of the central government to set up the Cauvery Water Management Board, have all failed. It has now bubbled up to this. There seems to be a large-scale need to ignore the problem. Is it because you will benefit politically more from an election in Karnataka? And how long do you plan to ignore the people of Tamil Nadu at this rate? The central government must remember that you are central government to every single Indian and every single Indian state. Your political party or your political allegiance should have absolutely no bearing to how you function in your capacity as central government of India. Please do your job. Thanks for watching.